the chat. And I am going to share my screen, desktop. If you can see that, give me a thumbs up. Okay, excellent, awesome. So I want to start with just a couple of slides. I'm not going to slide you to death, I promise. I hate being slided to death, but the Cryptosonic predictive analytics platform is what we're here to talk about tonight. But before we do, we have to get into all the legalities and the safe harbor and all that good stuff that says, I am not your financial advisor. I am not a licensed practitioner and such. Cryptocurrency trading is very risky and your results may vary. Great, we've got that taken care of. So what's the problem in cryptocurrency trading today? It comes down to behavioral realities of crypto, and it makes the market real challenging, even for very savvy investors. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So if we go over here and look at, all right, need to move this down a little bit so I can get to it. All right. This is BitInfo Charts, and it's called the Bitcoin Rich List. And what I want to point out is there's 54 million wallets or wallet addresses that have Bitcoin in them right now. And we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and some other things tonight. But out of that 54 million addresses, 31 million of them have less than $100. So that means 60% of all the wallets that are out there, and I'm going to show you what Bitcoin's worth here in a moment, but 60% of all the wallets out there have less than $100. And the reason for that is because most people lose money in crypto. And the reason that they lose money in crypto is they let their emotions take over, and they don't let the mathematics and data help them in their decision process. So they see these meteoric rises in the crypto market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever the XRP, whatever happens to be, and they jump in way too late because they're afraid of missing out, FOMO, fear of missing out, and they can't get their emotions out of the way and just let science tell them what to do. So if we go back to the slide, there's really three things that we find problems. One is volatility. There's never been a marketplace where the, actually I'm gonna move this. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's never been a marketplace that's been so susceptible to emotion as the cryptocurrency market. The reason's very simple. It's not a lot of mature investors. Yeah, it's some, but most of them are millennials. I've got lots and lots of facts and data on that as well. The second thing is that the velocity. This market moves faster than most investors can react. If you don't believe me, you aren't watching the markets today. And visibility. There's a lack of insight and foresight into the potential movements in market direction. In other words, there's not many tools to help you in your cryptocurrency trading. So let me tell you a little bit of a story, and it's going to start right here on this chart. If you can see this chart, it's the Bitcoin chart, and I got into Bitcoin and kind of fell in love with it back at the end of 2017. And I was making great gains. You can see this right here on this chart. I got in right here. And so at the end of 2017, Bitcoin made this meteoric rise and went over almost to 20,000. And then a month later, as you can see, it took a nosedive. And I don't know about you, but when something like that happens to me, I look for ways of correcting it. I look for ways of not becoming one of the herd. I look for ways to use data to find out why and all those types of things. And so I went on a search for those tools and I couldn't find any. And we're going to get into that in a moment. But let me fast forward, because if you look at this chart, what I want you to notice is, do you see any similarities between this run up and what the chart looks like, and this run up and what the chart looks like? Well, I've seen these two time periods overlaid on each other, and they're almost identical. And so what does that mean? That means this major correction that happened in 2017 is probably going to happen again. And so my question is, would you like to know when? If you do, then we can help you figure that out. So let's go back and I'll finish my story. So I went to a car show in Dallas, Texas, and I visited one of the smartest guys I know, my partner, D Money. And D Money and I walked around that car show, and I told him about my cryptocurrency trading dilemma, and that there were no good tools. And so I said, look, if we could do technical analysis and some, look at key indicators and measure market sentiment and really use artificial intelligence and get data points from all over the place and put it all into one system, then we could have all these signals that would start to occur and tell us which direction the market was going to move. And so at that car show, we brainstormed Cryptosonic into existence. The original idea, 2018, it's a 3 foot by 4 foot poster board. It's still on my wall. This was the original idea. And it kind of, if you don't know what you're looking at there, it's exactly what I explained, all the indicators and other kind of sources of information. But this is where the obsession began. And, we came up with some early concepts and those types of things. But what we did is we worked with a lot of artificial intelligence experts, machine learning experts, expert developers, mathematicians, people that were experts in language processing that could measure emotion and measure sentiment and intent, all of those types of things. And we worked for 2 years very diligently with these people, and we could never crack the code. We'd get close, we'd get about 60% accuracy, and then the models would start breaking down. So fast forward, we met an individual through a government agency that I won't name, but they do a lot of things with rockets going up in the air and that sort of thing. And we met probably the most elite mathematician on the planet today. And so we gave him all of our data. We gave him all of the testing, all of the algorithms that we had created up to that point. And he called me back in a week and said, okay, it's done. And I'm like, what do you mean it's done? Well, I took everything that you gave me and I figured it out. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We worked 2 years on this and we're not dumb people. So we did the first test on what he gave us back, and we were hitting 75% accuracy in trend analysis, up and down movements in prediction. And so we did some iterations. We did a couple of tests. We back tested the Bitcoin data for 7 years, and the results were absolutely astounding. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. So when it comes to crypto trading, it's not about experience or non-experience. It's about reliably predicting what comes next. So The Cryptosonic predictive analytics platform informs subscribers when to execute timely crypto trades. And more people are coming in. This is awesome. Now, let's talk about timing, because timing is everything when an opportunity rolls around. So if you look at the top 10 assets in the world today, Bitcoin is already number 8 on the list at over $1 trillion of worth. Within the next 18 months, if Bitcoin keeps up at its pace right now, and by the way, it's going to go faster than it is right now, but even if it keeps up with its current pace, it will move to number 2 as the most valuable asset in the world behind gold. And Bitcoin just started 7 years ago. And this is just one coin or one token or one digital security, just one. So the reason I say all this is this equals universal acceptance and an unprecedented opportunity and timing to build wealth for you and your family, if you have the right tools to help you do it. Otherwise, I would be very careful getting involved. All right, enough of that. Okay, let's go and actually get into why you're here. So I'm going to go to this model right here. So every night between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern time, we ingest the day's closing data for the crypto, in this case, Bitcoin. And so when we do that, we come over to the Cryptosonic cockpit. And by the way, this is stuff that you don't really see, but I want to show it to you to show you how we do it. So the first thing that we do is we pick one of the algorithms that the mathematician, mad scientist, gave us. And what we're using right now is the second one. And the reason we're using the second one is we've done literally thousands of tests and analyzed this and used machine learning to analyze it as well. And this is the algorithm that gives us the best results for this given time window or signal window I'll get to in a minute. So as soon as we pick the prediction formula, we build the price tables or price histories. And this happens back on our servers on the back end. And that's where all the magic happens, where the algorithms are. They're not in the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet's just really a presentation layer. And by the way, we're going to change all of this. This is actually going to be a web-based application that you will actually be able to pick the date ranges and the formulas and the trade thresholds and build out your own strategies and all of those types of things over time. But we just launched 3 weeks ago, and our results and the momentum that we have right now is just crazy. All right, so we put comments in. This was yesterday's run. I don't have the data yet. It's probably available now, but barely. All right, so we needed to give the system 2 more indicators, and that is the signal window, meaning a date range. So we're taking this date range, if you see this, January 1st of 2020 through yesterday. And the other thing that we do is we have to give it some trade thresholds, which say we will generate a buy signal if the predicted price falls by 3%. And we will generate a sell signal if the predicted price increases by 5%. Why 3 and 5? Again, after extensive testing and analysis and running the analytics models and letting machine learning play with it a little bit, give us the best signal returns for this given date range in this given cryptocurrency. So we hit the generate trade signals button, and what we get out of that is this. Now let me run you through this very carefully. Here's the formula that we used. Here are the trading thresholds we talked about. Here's the date range. Here's the number of signals. So in this date range, it came up with 116 buy signals. You can see them to the right there, all the red and green. and 33 sell signals, and most of them were holds. And the reason most of them were holds, if you followed the market at all, is the market was pretty flat for the first half of 2020. Actually, the middle of 2020, there was a lot of not a lot of velocity, not a lot of volatility, and that's what data points pick up to make these signals. So out of all those signals, there was a variance of only 1.44%. So our average accuracy in detecting and predicting market movement is 98.56%. It's absolutely astounding. So if I scroll all the way up here, you'll see where the model started. Whoops, went too far. January 1st, 2020, I can go to the end of the model. Boom. Yesterday we had a hold signal. There was a good reason for that. The Bitcoin market today was crazy, but the model knew that we didn't want to buy any. It also knew that we didn't want to sell any, and I'll get into that in a moment. So what I've done is I've taken all these signals for this date range and I put them into a much easier viewable tab right here. And so here they are. Here's all the signals. You can see red and green. Actually, they kind of look orange to me. So we start on the 1st of January, 2020. And so we're going to start with our $1,000. And again, the amount is not important. It's the percentage of return that's important. So what do? It's real simple. We wait for the first green signal. And we see our first green signal. We buy in with our $1,000. There's our $1,000. Now, there's a lot of other green signals as well, but we're only focused right now on just that $1,000. Could I put more in? Absolutely. Do I have to? Absolutely not. So what I want to share with you in this particular model is we are going to follow the model and the mathematics to the T, not deviate one bit, and see exactly what happens if we follow the mathematics. No emotion whatsoever. So let's see what happens. So we don't see a sell signal for 7 weeks, and it happens on February 20th. And that means you have to exercise patience. That means you can't let emotions get in the way. We're letting the mathematics take over for us. So we get our first sell signal. Boom. We sell. We generate this much cash. You gotta let some more people in the room. Okay, so what do we do next? We got some cash. We wait for the next buy signal, the very next one. There it is. We buy back in. What do we do next? We wait for the next sell signal. Boom, we sell. Buy, sell. And as you can see here, some days we sell one day and buy back in the next day. It's all what the math tells us to do. But we follow the model implicitly and the mathematics implicitly. We don't deviate it from one little bit. We let the math tell us what to do. You can never outguess the math. Not over time anyway. So, and you can see there's long periods of time where there's nothing. There's just hold signals. Whites hold. And so you got to be patient. And if you will be patient and let the math tell you what to do, I'm going to show you what it will do for you. Hi, so here we go. I'm just scrolling down to the bottom of the model. Again, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, just based on the model, not deviating one bit, letting the math do everything for you. And let's see what happens. So at the end of 418 days, a little over a year, the return was 1,354%, not letting emotions do anything with your trading and letting the model, the mathematics completely guide you in what you should do with your trades. That means that $1,000 turned into $14,543 in 418 days. If you'd have bought and held, before I go there, So we generated, I told you 116 sales, 30 buys, 33 sells, 269 holds, but we only executed 18 buys and 17 sells in 418 days. That's only 35 trades to generate 1,300. That's 13x on your money. And if you didn't use Cryptosonic, and I'm going to give you some explanations about this in a moment, you would have had a 627% return. Why? Because the last 2 months of 2020, Bitcoin basically tripled in value. So that last 3 months, you would have gotten that value. I'm going to tell you why that's a bad decision here in a moment. It's kind of hard telling somebody it's a bad decision for 627%, but I will show you what I mean. Now, there's a couple of other ways that you can trade. You can buy and hold. You can use the signals just from the model. You can also use stop losses. And so I got 2 different methodologies for using stop losses here. Let's review them. Again, same exact thing. We got a couple more variables in here that we're going to use, but we start on January 1st, same exact thing. We got our $1,000. We wait for our first buy signal. We buy in, boom. The only difference here is that when we buy in, we're going to set a stop loss, an automatic stop loss. And I'll tell you what the difference between that and manual is here in a moment. So we set a stop loss, and we're watching the market, and don't watch it every 15 minutes. Once a day is fine. So you see the market going up. You can see the prices going up, all of that stuff. And so you want to adjust your stop losses. We teach this in our pro member subscription. We actually give you the guidance on where to put your stops and your limit orders and all, and teach you how to do it and what it means and all that good stuff as well. So we put our stop losses in. We see the market continues to climb a little bit. We make adjustments. We adjust the stop losses up. The reason we do that is because as the price is going up, we want to lock in our profits. So if it takes a dive, it's going to automatically sell and maintain our capital and our profit. So we're going through the same exercise here. We're making some adjustments. And on February 15th of 2020, we hit our stop loss. And that's because it went down to 9,874. So it stopped out, and we take this amount of Bitcoin that we bought up here times whatever the stop loss amount was, and that gives us this cash. Okay, so what are we doing next? Remember, we wait for our next buy signal. There's our next buy signal. What do we do when we get the buy signal? We set our stop losses, which we give you every night. And boom, stop hit. Okay, generated cash. What do? Wait for the next buy signal, buy back in. By the way, this is still using all the mathematics. We're just helping the model a little bit using the stop loss capabilities of our crypto exchanges. So I'm not going to go through every one of these. You can see exactly what's happening. Stops hit, we buy back in. Stop hit, we buy back in, so forth and so on. So let's go all the way down and see what our end result is. It's a lot of scrolling. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, so using this technique, we generated 967% return. You took your $1,000 and you turned it into $10,668 in the most conservative, safest, capital preserving way possible, using math and then using stop losses on that math. Okay. So let me show you one more technique. This is the way that I trade, and I do trade almost every single day, or when I get the signals. And my kids do, my friends do, all using these same indicators. Okay, same thing. There's our $1,000. There's our first buy signal. We buy in. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. Okay, let's do that again. All right, there's our first buy signal on January 4th, remember. Same $1,000. There's our Bitcoin. Okay, same thing. I'm setting, well, I'm not setting stop losses. I'm doing manual stop losses here so I can use the average price instead of the low. Because when you use stop losses automatically, it automatically sells. And so if you get a spike down, you're going to get stopped out. Using this methodology, which we teach in our advanced pro member subscription, we set the stop losses just like we did before, but we're setting against the average price. So I need to watch it a little more carefully. I might watch it 2 or 3 times a day to see what the market's doing. And you can see the same exact thing happens. The prices go up. I adjust my stop loss, and this one was hit, generated the cash, waited for the next buy signal, bought back in, set my stops, one hit, got cash, waited for the next buy signal, bought back in, so forth, so on, so on. This is not complicated. All you have to do is follow the math. This is not emotional. So let's scroll on down and see what happens with this one. More people are coming in. Awesome. All right, so let's scroll all the way down. And this is the final methodology that I'm going to show you. There's a few more, but this is information overload as it is. So let me scroll on down here to February 21st. And let's see what our return is on this one. There it is. 1,654%. That $1,000 turned into 17,500. 1,000 to 17,500 in 418 days. So basically 16x your money, just following the mathematics and just setting some stop losses. So let's look at the summary. Okay, so if you were to buy and hold without using Cryptosonic, again, in this summary, if you look at the dates, is just 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. So that calendar year. And if you'd have bought and hold, you'd had a 290% return. The reason that's so high is because of that meteoric run of Bitcoin the last 2 months of 2020. The problem is that's the very riskiest way to trade. That was me in 2017. And the reason I say that is I don't know when to get in. I don't know when to get out. I don't know when the next market crashes. I don't know when the corrections are going to take place. I have nothing to help me except maybe some guys on YouTube all giving me differing opinions and not showing me what their trades are. So that is a very uneasy, emotional way to do it. So if you just use the buy and sell signals from Cryptosonic for that same calendar year, you would have had 564% return. That's the easiest. That's all you have to do is follow the math. If you used the low price stop losses, you'd have had 523%. That's the most conservative. And some people would use the word safest because it makes sure that you don't lose your capital and lets you lock in your profits. And then if you're like me, I take a little bit more aggressive approach and had a 712% return for that calendar year. Now, if we extend that on out from 1/1/20 through today, this is what I just showed you a few moments ago. 1,354, just following the signals, 967, most conservative, 1,654, most aggressive. All right, so we showed you that one. I want to show you one more example, and I want to show you Ethereum. because if your mind has not been blown already, this actually might do it. By the way, we just started putting Ethereum signals up Friday. So now our pro member subscribers get Ethereum buy, sell, and hold signals, and they get guidance on their stops as well. Okay, same thing. We use our formulas. It just happened that we're using the same trade thresholds. I could change these. I could play with them. I could do whatever. Hit the generate trade button, and of course it gives you the trades. And there's a lot more of them this time. Okay, here we're hitting 99.26%. Again, I made this simple to read. So let's look at what happens with Ethereum. So we didn't get our first buy signal until January 6th of 2020. Took our $1,000. We bought in. Here's how much Ethereum we now own. Waited for the first sell. You know the drill. We sold. Waited for the first buy. Bought back in. Waited for the next sell. Sold, etc., all the way down. And I will scroll down as fast as I can. Again, look, there's long periods of time where there's no sell, so you got to be patient. The math is doing its trick, and the magic of the algorithms and the servers are figuring all this out for us. All right, so there we go. 2,227%. Just following the model, just following the mathematics, turned $1,000 into $23,000 in 418 days. I will also show you the stops low. I'm not going to go through it all because you already know how it works. We'll just go down to the bottom, and then I'll show you the stops average. 1,976%, $1,000 into 20,000. And then here's my favorite. It's the way that I trade it. All right, same thing. Set our stops, come all the way down. Remember, we're using the average price to set our stops now instead of the low. A little bit different. Not much different, but just a hair. And we give you the guidance on all those stop losses that we use. Come all the way down. 4,951% return. That's turning $1,000 into $50,000 in 407 days. So, like I said, if your mind wasn't blown before, I hope that it is now. So let me take you over here for a second. This is the Cryptosonic.io, not .com, .io, Cryptosonic.io site. Let me just give you a quick tour. Obviously, if you've been to the site, you've seen all this. I give some examples. I show some results. We deliver all of these signals a couple of different ways. This is Slack, and we give you a login to Slack, and I send out the Bitcoin and Ethereum signals every single day, about 8:30 at night, thereabouts. Slack also has a mobile app, so you can get these signals right to your phone. And we'll show you this members area in just a minute. And then I actually go back through this demo in a video on the site as well, so you go back and watch it. Pricing plans, pretty simple. For the first 500 subscribers, we're doing introductory pricing, $39.95 a month for the basic. It gives you daily Bitcoin buy, sell, and hold signals delivered by that Slack web and mobile app. You also have a members area, quick start training video, and a private member chat group. Now, Cryptosonic Pro gives you daily Bitcoin and Ethereum. And by the way, we're going to be adding the top 20 coins And we're just going down the list. So that's not true. I'm actually testing Litecoin right now as we speak, and it will probably be ready to go within 10 days. Anyway, we give you the buy, sell, and hold signals for both of those. We give the stop loss and limit order guidance for those as well. All delivered. We have a private member chat group, of course. And then we're going to be doing weekly training videos on all the advanced strategies that I just showed you got the 5,000% return on Ethereum. I'm going to teach you exactly how we do it and how to use those stops. If you can't see how that will completely change your financial picture using mathematics and not emotions, you might want to look for something else to do, because I can't think of anything else that I've seen in my 59 years. The only thing that you could probably done is when Bill Gates or Steve Jobs started Apple or Microsoft, if you'd have bought stock right then, maybe you'd have a shot. But I'm just telling you, the crypto market is the most amazing opportunity that you can even comprehend in the next 10, 15, 20 years. It will become the mainstream. It will become the financial industry. The companies are already starting to take Bitcoin. Elon Musk buys $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin the other day. And everybody thinks that Bitcoin price rose because he bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. That is not true. The reason Bitcoin jumped that day is because Elon Musk bought it. I personally know people that have more than 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. So, and they would not be able to drive the market. The reason for that is the market's over $1 trillion. $1 billion is just a little blip on the screen at this point. And remember, that's just one coin. It's crazy. All right. So yeah, you just, select this and become a member. And, we got a news section up here. This is going to be, we're going to have news events. We're going to do these events a lot. Frequently asked questions, and then terms and conditions and all that legal crap. All right. So if you go to the members area, well, before I go there, let's look at where you log in. So log in, you can go to your profile. This is basically a test profile I've got set up for myself. And, you put some information here. You can look at your subscription, and you can see that it's active and all of that stuff. And if you want to ever cancel, you can cancel anytime. You just hit the cancel subscription button. Your wallet's right here, and your wallet has your credit card information in it. And then your My Account has some information about you. Here's your profile login for your community page for that private chat group that I was talking about. We need to add also, guys, when you're filling out your profile, add your mobile number here to phone. The reason for that is we're probably not going to use Slack for a long, long time to deliver the signals. We'll probably use an application that will just blast it right to text, right to SMS. And if we have your mobile phone in here, it makes it real easy for us to do that. And of course, you've got some settings and you've got some notifications and those types of things. All right, so the members area, I'll show you the pro one, because the pro has everything that the basic does plus some stuff. So you've got the signals here. You've got the Cryptosonic Bitcoin signals and the Ethereum signals. You've got the date range. You get to see whether it's hold or buy or sell or whatever it happens to be that day. And then you see exactly where we're setting our stop losses, why these are so important. I'm going to tell you why. It takes the emotion out of the game and lets you lock in your profits. I got stopped out last night at 55,200, and Bitcoin went down to, I think, 51, 52,000 today. So it saved me I locked in like 10 grand of profit just by setting these limits. Ethereum, I got stopped out 2 days ago at 1,950, and it went down today. Well, you can see it up here at the top of my screen. It's 1770 right now. Anyway, so we give you all of this. We give you the guidance. We let you know exactly what we're doing. We have tutorials. And the tutorial here is, start here. It's your profile setup. It's your members area. It's to get started with trading signals. Now that I'm a member, what do I do? Well, we walk back through those signals and what you should be doing with those signals. And then if you don't have a trading account already, I highly recommend, and this should say Coinbase Pro. In fact, this link will take you to the Pro version. There's two. Coinbase is one of the largest, most popular crypto exchanges out there to buy, sell, and trade crypto. And there's two versions. There's Coinbase, which is a real simplistic version, and it doesn't allow you to set stops. And the fees are much higher. So if you set up a Coinbase Pro account, fees are much lower. You can do all the stop stuff, and I'll be using that to show you the examples of how to do your stop losses and all that good stuff. However, if you've got a Coinbase Pro account, then you can also log into Coinbase. And when you do that, let's see if I've got it here. You probably can't see it on the camera, but you log in and you come up to this first screen, and if you scroll down, you'll see something that says start earning. So I'm gonna give you $39 tonight, and here's how you're gonna get it. Go into Coinbase, hit that start earning button, and you watch like 5 videos on 5 different coins, and they deposit coins into your account for you. It's like 39 bucks worth of coins, but who knows? One of those 3 or 4 might be the next 1000x return in 6 months. So it's free money. Anyway, so this goes into setting up your Coinbase Pro account and all of that stuff. So that's it. As soon as I get off the air tonight, I am going to send out the new signals, and they will go to Slack. They will go to the members area. They will have the stop losses in them. I'm curious to see what the signals are going to be myself. I haven't run them yet. So questions, if you have questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to pull the chat up right now. Can you do automatic buys on Coinbase at a given price? Absolutely. Those are called limit orders. What is the difference between stop loss and the 3% reduction sell that you base a sell on? Nothing really. When we figure out our stop losses, we use a certain algorithm to do that. Some people use a percentage. It's not 3%. It's less than it's usually a little less than 3% or close. And really, that's a guideline, right? You can set it higher or lower based on your risk tolerance. You won't get stopped out as much if you put a bigger gap. And we teach all of that in our videos. Let's see. So this is only, I don't see any other questions. Does anybody have any other questions in the chat? Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, I told you this was going to be life-changing, unprecedented opportunity to build wealth. All you have to do is do it. And there's really only one question you need to ask yourself, and that is, could I become a better, more confident trader if I could take the emotion out of cryptocurrency trading and use pure mathematics to help guide me to my trading decisions? If the answer is yes, it's kind of a no-brainer. And again, my sincere desire is to help every single one of you make money in the crypto market. It's become a real passion of mine. And for 3 years, I've dedicated, I can't even explain the number of hours and the experiments and the turmoil of things not working out, and sticking with it and sticking with it and getting better and better mathematicians and better algorithms until we finally cracked the code. It's like getting the rocket back into orbit. You have to have the right mathematics to be able to do it. In fact, we might have even used some of those types of people to make this happen. So that's it. Thank you so much for showing up and letting me share with you. If you have any questions, I think everybody on the calendar invites and the email I sent them have my email address. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, currently Cryptosonic sends signal. Yes, currently Cryptosonic. Well, as of last Thursday, we only did Bitcoin. We're only 3 weeks launched. So, and we weren't going to have Bitcoin or Ethereum until the end of the month, but we were able to get all the testing done and put the Ethereum signals out last Friday. Litecoin testing is underway, and it takes a lot to go through each coin, because each coin has their own data sets. They each have their own volatility to them. They each have just all kinds of things that we have to go and figure out about them. Can you apply this to the stock market? Probably, but why? I mean, I don't know. We've not done any testing. Math is math, but you got to have enough data points to make the math work and for the machine learning to kick in and all that stuff. Does each cell generate a 35% capital gains tax? Absolutely. So if you're trading, it's the same capital gains as stock market. If you buy and hold and never sell, you don't pay any tax on it until you actually turn it back into US currency. And you only pay it on the gains, of course. Yeah, that's a good point. Coinbase has a great section on crypto reporting. It's just to click a button and hand it to your CPA. So it's like anything else. It's like the Forex. It's like currency exchanges. It's like stock market. It's like options trading. If you make a gain, you owe taxes. And I wouldn't even suggest that you use a foreign exchange that doesn't report anything. I would never suggest that. So any other questions in the chat? Well, great. Again, we're almost at the top of the hour. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for listening. I hope you can tell I'm very passionate about this. I'm passionate about each and every one of you making it big in crypto. I'm here to help you. We're here to give you the best knowledge that we possibly can. We live it every single day. And we will provide the best mathematics that are simply available today to help you in your trading decisions. And that's it. So I think that's a wrap. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure seeing some of my friends on here that I haven't seen in a long time. Of course, some of my family's on here. Friends of friends are on here. I want you to be my friend now as well. And some people that I've run into on other mediums like Twitter. And we're going to start doing Reddit as well. Oh, by the way, we have a private Facebook. See if I can get to it real quick. Yeah, We have a private Facebook group. So if you'll just reach out to Cryptosonic and ask to be invited, I'll let you in. So anyway, yeah, thanks, Donna. No beer today. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the session now, and we look forward to serving all of you guys with the best data that we possibly can. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.